Welcome to Freema Audiobooks, where strategy meets action, and where the path to success is redefined not by fleeting resolutions, but by deliberate, repeatable systems that produce consistent results. Today we present Set Systems, Not Goals. Build systems that guarantee success. A transformative audiobook designed to shift your mindset from chasing abstract goals to implementing practical, actionable systems that create measurable progress,
reduce procrastination, and ensure long-term achievement. This audiobook is not about quick fixes or temporary motivation. It is about understanding the mechanisms of productivity, discipline, and consistency, and learning how to structure your daily actions so that success becomes inevitable rather than accidental. Over the course of this audiobook, you will explore how systems, daily routines, habits, processes, and feedback loops form the backbone of sustained performance, providing both clarity and momentum, while minimizing reliance on willpower or external motivation. You will learn the principles of designing effective systems, tracking progress, adapting strategies, and aligning actions with long-term outcomes, transforming abstract aspirations into concrete, sustainable growth. By internalizing these insights, listeners gain the tools to optimize productivity, maintain focus, and achieve meaningful results, while avoiding the frustration and inconsistency often associated with traditional goal setting. If this audiobook inspires you to rethink how you pursue success, follow Freema Audiobooks, subscribe for more actionable guidance, leave a review to support our mission, and share this audiobook with anyone ready to take control of their habits, systems, and results. Now, prepare to enter a framework that prioritizes action, structure, and consistent execution, and discover how building the right systems guarantees long-term success. This audiobook is divided into 8 chapters, each designed to guide you from understanding the philosophy of systems over goals to the practical application, refinement, and mastery of personal and professional processes that drive success. As we begin with the first chapter, remember that success is no longer about arbitrary targets or deadlines. It is about the systems you implement, the routines you maintain, and the consistent actions you take every day. Chapter 1. The Power of Systems. Why Success is Built on Processes, Not Goals. In this chapter, titled The Power of Systems, Why Success is Built on Processes, Not Goals, we explore the fundamental principle that long-term achievement arises not from chasing arbitrary targets, but from designing deliberate, repeatable systems that guide daily behavior, while examining the benefits of process-driven action and why understanding this distinction is essential for consistent success. Goals are often celebrated as the primary measure of success, yet they are inherently outcome-focused and externally defined, creating pressure, stress, and reliance on motivation that can fluctuate unpredictably, whereas systems provide structure, consistency, and a framework for sustainable progress. The narrator emphasizes that systems are the invisible architecture behind results, encompassing daily routines, habits, workflows, and feedback mechanisms that cumulatively produce measurable outcomes over time, regardless of short-term setbacks or fluctuations in external conditions. One of the most significant lessons from this principle is that focusing on systems shifts attention from abstract aspirations to tangible actions, ensuring that effort is consistently directed toward productive behaviors that compound into meaningful results. Designing effective systems requires clarity of purpose, understanding of processes, and alignment with long-term objectives, as a system misaligned with your values or priorities will fail to produce the intended outcomes, no matter how disciplined the execution. The benefits of systems include resilience, adaptability, and predictability, because they allow you to maintain progress even when motivation wanes, external circumstances change,
or distractions arise, ensuring consistent forward momentum. Another key insight lies in feedback loops, because systems inherently include mechanisms for evaluation, adjustment, and improvement, allowing you to refine processes continuously, optimize efficiency, and accelerate the achievement of desired outcomes. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that the pursuit of goals without systems is prone to inconsistency, frustration, and burnout, while system-oriented thinking transforms effort into reliable, repeatable success and instills confidence in your ability to achieve over time. By internalizing the principles of system design, listeners gain the capacity to structure their environment, routines, and behaviors intentionally, ensuring that success is no longer a matter of chance, fleeting motivation, or arbitrary measurement, but a direct result of consistent action. As you apply these insights, you begin to see that every decision, habit, and workflow contributes to long-term outcomes, and that cultivating well-designed systems is the most reliable path to achieving personal, professional, and creative objectives. Ultimately, mastering the philosophy of systems over goals equips you to think strategically, act deliberately, and maintain consistency, transforming effort into predictable results and setting the stage for advanced techniques in subsequent chapters. Chapter 2. Designing Effective Systems, Building Habits and Processes for Long-Term Success. In this chapter, titled Designing Effective Systems, Building Habits and Processes for Long-Term Success, we explore how to create actionable frameworks that transform intention into consistent results, examining the principles of system design, habit formation, and workflow optimization, while also highlighting why effective systems are the foundation of sustainable achievement. Designing an effective system begins with clarity of purpose, because without a well-defined objective, daily routines and behaviors can become fragmented, inconsistent, or misaligned, reducing the likelihood of meaningful progress and creating inefficiencies in effort. The narrator emphasizes that systems are not rigid rules but adaptable structures, designed to guide behavior while accommodating changes in circumstances. One of the most significant lessons from this principle is that small, incremental improvements compound over time, as even modest, consistent actions embedded in effective systems can produce disproportionately large results when executed repeatedly and strategically. Feedback mechanisms are integral, because evaluating outcomes, tracking progress, and adjusting processes allow systems to evolve, improving efficiency, increasing output, and ensuring alignment with overarching goals. Another key insight lies in prioritization. As designing systems requires identifying high-impact activities, removing unnecessary steps, and focusing energy on behaviors that directly contribute to desired outcomes, ensuring that effort is applied strategically rather than diffusely. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that success is less about isolated actions, and more about the architecture of daily routines, workflows, and habits, and that intentional system design transforms scattered effort into predictable, cumulative achievement. By internalizing these principles, listeners gain the ability to construct processes that automate productivity, reduce cognitive load, and create the structure necessary to sustain focus, consistency, and momentum over the long term. As you apply these lessons, you begin to see that every action, repeated habit, and workflow contributes to outcomes in measurable ways, and that designing systems aligned with your objectives ensures that success becomes the natural product of consistent, intentional effort. Ultimately, mastering the art of system design equips you to translate vision into routine, intention into action, and effort into measurable results, preparing you to implement advanced techniques for maintaining consistency, scaling progress, and optimizing outcomes explored in the next chapters. Having established the principles of designing effective systems, the next is Chapter 3, where we explore how to implement systems in daily life, create routines that reinforce success, and sustain long-term momentum. Chapter 3. Implementing Systems, Creating Routines, and Sustaining Momentum. In this chapter, titled Implementing Systems, Creating Routines, and Sustaining Momentum, we explore how to take the principles of system design and embed them into daily life, examining how routines, consistency, and repetition create the momentum necessary for long-term success while highlighting why implementation is as critical as design. Implementation begins with the deliberate integration of habits into daily routines, because a system cannot produce results unless its components are practiced consistently, and repeated execution transforms theory into measurable outcomes. The narrator emphasizes that routines are the engine of momentum, as predictable, structured actions reduce decision fatigue, maintain focus, and create an environment in which progress becomes automatic rather than reliant on fluctuating motivation. Sustaining momentum requires flexibility within structure, allowing adjustments for changes in schedule, energy, or unexpected challenges, while preserving the integrity of the core system to ensure that progress remains consistent over time. One of the most significant lessons from this principle is that progress compounds through consistency, as small, repeated actions embedded in routines accumulate into substantial results, proving that disciplined execution outweighs sporadic bursts of effort. Tracking and measuring outcomes within a system is critical, because feedback loops provide insight into effectiveness, highlight areas for refinement, and reinforce accountability, ensuring that routines continue to align with overarching objectives. Another key insight lies in resilience, because implementing systems requires persistence, the ability to overcome lapses or disruptions, and the commitment to return to established routines without losing momentum or focus. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that even the most brilliantly designed system is ineffective without deliberate execution, and that sustained success depends on the ability to embed actionable processes into consistent daily practices. By internalizing these lessons, listeners gain the ability to translate strategy into action, maintain forward momentum, and ensure that each day contributes meaningfully to long-term goals, transforming intention into measurable achievement. As you apply these principles, you begin to see that structured routines, combined with persistence and feedback, create a self-reinforcing cycle of progress, making success predictable, achievable, and sustainable over time. Ultimately, mastering system implementation equips you to move from planning to action, embedding behaviors that generate results automatically, and ensuring that progress is continuous, measurable, and aligned with long-term objectives, setting the stage for advanced system optimization explored in the next chapters. Chapter 4. Tracking Progress, Metrics, Feedback, and System Refinement. In this chapter, titled Tracking Progress, Metrics, Feedback, and System Refinement, we explore how monitoring outcomes, analyzing data, and continuously refining processes ensures that systems remain effective, aligned with goals, and capable of producing optimal results over time, while highlighting why feedback is essential for sustained success. Tracking progress begins with defining measurable indicators for each system, because without clear metrics, it is impossible to evaluate performance, identify weaknesses, or determine whether daily actions are contributing to meaningful outcomes. The narrator emphasizes that feedback loops are central to improvement, as they allow for reflection, adaptation, and incremental optimization, ensuring that systems evolve in response to real-world results rather than remaining static or ineffective. Consistent measurement provides accountability, because reviewing performance regularly highlights both successes and gaps, motivating adherence to routines and reinforcing the importance of disciplined execution. One of the most significant lessons from this principle is that without monitoring, even well-designed systems can falter, as progress may stall, inefficiencies may accumulate, and misalignment with long-term objectives can occur unnoticed. Another key insight lies in adaptability, because systems that are refined based on objective feedback are better able to respond to changing circumstances, maintain efficiency, and optimize results over time. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that success is not static, and that continuous evaluation and refinement of systems ensures sustained growth, resilience, and alignment with overarching goals, making improvement an ongoing, deliberate practice. By internalizing these lessons, listeners gain the ability to analyze their routines critically, adjust behaviors strategically, and ensure that every action contributes to consistent progress, turning trial and error into informed decision-making. As you apply these principles, you begin to see that metrics, reflection, and incremental refinement transform systems from rigid frameworks into dynamic processes, capable of evolving to maximize efficiency, performance, and results over time. Ultimately, mastering the practice of tracking and refining systems ensures that progress is measurable, actionable, and sustainable, creating a foundation for long-term achievement and continuous improvement that compounds with consistent effort. Chapter 5. Scaling Systems, Optimizing Workflows and Maintaining Consistency. In this chapter, titled Scaling Systems, Optimizing Workflows and Maintaining Consistency, we explore how to expand, optimize, and reinforce systems so they continue to produce results as complexity and demands increase, while examining the benefits of scalable processes and why maintaining consistency is crucial for long-term success. Scaling systems begins with evaluating the efficiency of existing workflows, because understanding which components generate results and which create bottlenecks allows for targeted improvement, ensuring that the system can grow without losing effectiveness or consistency. The narrator emphasizes that scalable systems require modular design, meaning processes should be structured so that they can be expanded, delegated, or adapted to higher levels of complexity while preserving core principles and predictable outcomes. Consistency is central to scaling, as repeated execution of well-designed processes ensures that performance remains reliable, even when new tasks, responsibilities, or challenges are added, preventing chaos or degradation of results. One of the most significant lessons from this principle is that growth without structure often leads to inefficiency, burnout, or failure, whereas systems designed for scalability allow increased output without proportional increases in stress or complexity. Another key insight lies in automation and delegation, because identifying repeatable tasks and assigning them to systems, tools, or team members enables focus on high-value activities while maintaining consistency across the entire workflow. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that sustainable success depends not just on initial systems, but on their ability to adapt, expand, and handle increased demand while producing predictable high-quality outcomes. By internalizing these lessons, listeners gain the ability to identify areas for optimization, implement improvements systematically, and ensure that workflows remain effective as goals grow in scale, complexity, or scope. As you apply these principles, you begin to see that scalable systems transform individual effort into sustainable performance, allowing you to achieve more without compromising quality, discipline, or long-term consistency. Ultimately, mastering the ability to scale systems equips you to maintain control, efficiency, and predictable results even under increasing pressure or responsibility, reinforcing the principle that structured processes, not temporary bursts of effort, are the true drivers of sustained success. Having explored scaling systems and optimizing workflows, the next is Chapter 6, where we examine habit stacking, compounding actions, and reinforcing systems to make success automatic and resilient. Chapter 6, Habit Stacking and Compounding Actions, Reinforcing Systems for Automatic Success. In this chapter titled Habit Stacking and Compounding Actions, Reinforcing Systems for Automatic Success, we explore how integrating small, consistent habits into existing systems amplifies results over time, examining the principles of compounding action, reinforcement, and automation. Highlighting why layered behaviors create long-term, sustainable achievement. Habit stacking begins with identifying anchor behaviors. Because linking new actions to established routines ensures higher adherence, reduces friction, and creates momentum that reinforces the overall system's effectiveness, the narrator emphasizes that compounding occurs when repeated. Incremental actions accumulate to produce disproportionately large results, demonstrating that consistency and small improvements are more impactful than sporadic effort or reliance on motivation alone. Each action within a system reinforces the next, creating a self-sustaining cycle of productivity where behaviors become automatic. Mental load decreases, and attention can be focused on high-priority or creative tasks. One of the most significant lessons from this principle is that success is the sum of repeated, deliberate actions, and that layering habits strategically amplifies outcomes, allowing systems to function efficiently without constant conscious effort. Another key insight lies in resilience, because habit stacking builds redundancy and reliability into systems, ensuring that even when energy, motivation, or circumstances fluctuate, the system continues to produce results. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that automation through habit reinforcement reduces reliance on willpower, mitigates procrastination, and transforms intention into predictable, repeatable outcomes over time. By internalizing these lessons, listeners gain the ability to design systems that are self-reinforcing, integrate seamlessly into daily routines, and compound benefits in ways that accelerate progress and magnify impact. As you apply these principles, you begin to see that the most effective systems are not static structures but dynamic frameworks where habits reinforce one another, producing continuous improvement, momentum, and automatic forward progress. Ultimately, mastering habit stacking and compounding actions ensures that success becomes embedded in routine, effortless in execution, and resilient to disruption, creating a system where consistent effort translates into predictable, long-term achievement. Chapter 7, Maintaining Systems Under Pressure, Overcoming Obstacles and Ensuring Resilience. In this chapter, titled Maintaining Systems Under Pressure, Overcoming Obstacles and Ensuring Resilience, we explore how to preserve the integrity of your systems during challenges, stress, or fluctuating motivation, examining strategies for overcoming setbacks, reinforcing discipline, and ensuring that consistent progress continues even under adverse conditions. Maintaining systems under pressure begins with mindset, because recognizing that setbacks, distractions, and fatigue are inevitable allows you to anticipate challenges and prepare strategies that prevent disruption to your routines and processes. The narrator emphasizes that resilience is built into effective systems through redundancy, habit reinforcement, and clear routines, which provide a stable framework that continues to operate even when external circumstances are unpredictable or demanding. Anticipating obstacles involves identifying potential weak points in workflows, evaluating areas prone to inconsistency, and implementing safeguards, such as reminders, automation, or accountability mechanisms, to ensure that systems remain robust under stress. One of the most significant lessons from this principle is that systems outperform goals under pressure, because well-designed routines continue to produce results even when motivation wanes. Emotional energy fluctuates, or unexpected events arise, making achievement less reliant on willpower alone. Another key insight lies in reflection and adaptation, as monitoring performance during challenging periods allows for strategic adjustments, learning from mistakes, and reinforcing behaviors that strengthen system resilience over time. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that sustainable success depends not only on designing systems but also on maintaining and adapting them during adversity. ensuring that progress remains continuous and predictable regardless of circumstances. By internalizing these lessons, listeners gain the ability to navigate setbacks without losing momentum, preserving consistency and discipline while reinforcing confidence in the reliability of their systems to deliver results. As you apply these principles, you begin to see that resilience is embedded in structure, repetition, and foresight, allowing your systems to withstand pressure, adapt intelligently, and maintain forward progress in the face of obstacles, stress, or uncertainty. Ultimately, mastering the maintenance of systems under pressure ensures that long-term success is not derailed by temporary challenges, enabling continuous growth, predictable outcomes, and the capacity to thrive even when external conditions are difficult or unpredictable. Chapter 8. Continuous Refinement, Mastering Systems for Long-Term Success. In this chapter, titled Continuous Refinement, Mastering Systems for Long-Term Success, we explore how ongoing evaluation, adaptation, and optimization of systems ensures they remain effective, efficient, and aligned with evolving goals, while highlighting the benefits of refinement and why mastery of systems guarantees predictable, sustainable achievement. Continuous refinement begins with regular review, because even the most well-designed systems can become outdated, inefficient, or misaligned as circumstances, goals, and priorities change, requiring deliberate attention and adjustment to maintain optimal performance. The narrator emphasizes that mastery involves both understanding the mechanics of your systems and observing their outcomes, as insights from experience reveal areas for improvement, opportunities for simplification, and methods to increase productivity without adding unnecessary complexity. Feedback loops are central to refinement, as they provide actionable information on performance, efficiency, and alignment, allowing you to iterate intelligently, eliminate bottlenecks, and reinforce behaviors that contribute most effectively to long-term success. One of the most significant lessons from this principle is that systems are dynamic rather than static, and ongoing attention, adjustment, and improvement ensure that they continue to deliver consistent results even as demands, responsibilities, or objectives evolve. Another key insight lies in experimentation, because testing small modifications within your systems allows for innovation, optimization, and continuous growth without risking the integrity or reliability of the core structure. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that long-term success is not achieved once, but maintained through deliberate, consistent refinement, ensuring that systems evolve to meet new challenges, maximize efficiency, and remain aligned with overarching goals. By internalizing these lessons, listeners gain the ability to approach systems as living frameworks, capable of growth, adaptation, and continuous improvement, rather than static routines, making achievement predictable, resilient, and sustainable. As you apply these principles, you begin to see that mastery of systems is a lifelong practice, involving observation, adaptation, and strategic enhancement, allowing you to maintain momentum, increase efficiency, and amplify results over time. Ultimately, mastering continuous refinement ensures that success becomes an inevitable outcome of disciplined action, intentional design, and proactive adaptation, creating a framework where predictable achievement, resilience, and long-term growth are guaranteed. As we conclude, set systems, not goals, build systems that guarantee success, it becomes clear that long-term achievement is not the product of fleeting motivation, ambitious resolutions, or arbitrary targets, but the result of deliberate, repeatable systems that guide daily behavior, reinforce productive habits, and produce consistent results over time. Over the course of these 8 chapters, you have explored the philosophy of systems over goals. As we conclude, set systems, not goals, build systems that guarantee success, it becomes clear that long-term achievement is not the product of fleeting motivation, ambitious resolutions, or arbitrary targets, but the result of deliberate, repeatable systems that guide daily behavior, reinforce productive habits, and produce consistent results over time. Over the course of these 8 chapters, you have explored the philosophy of systems over goals, designing effective processes, implementing routines, tracking progress, scaling and optimizing workflows, habit stacking, maintaining systems under pressure, and continuously refining processes to guarantee success. You have seen that focusing on systems rather than outcomes reduces reliance on motivation, builds resilience, and allows success to become automatic, predictable, and sustainable. By internalizing these principles, listeners are equipped to translate vision into routine, intention into action, and effort into measurable, compounding results, transforming personal and professional goals into systems-driven achievement. The benefits of this approach are profound: increased consistency, reduced procrastination, enhanced efficiency, and the ability to achieve meaningful objectives with less stress and more reliability. Ultimately, this audiobook demonstrates that success is the natural outcome of intentional, structured action, and that mastery of systems ensures predictable, enduring results that go far beyond what traditional goal setting can achieve. If this audiobook has inspired you to rethink your approach to success, begin by analyzing your current routines, identifying opportunities to build systems, and taking deliberate steps to implement structured, repeatable processes in your daily life. Follow Fremma Audiobooks for more content focused on productivity, habit design, and actionable strategies that turn principles into measurable results. Subscribe to receive guidance that helps you refine systems, sustain progress, and achieve long-term success with confidence. Leave a review to support the mission of sharing practical frameworks for consistent achievement and empowering listeners. To build systems that guarantee results, share this audiobook with someone seeking to transform their approach to work, goals, and personal development through proven system-driven strategies. Remember, lasting success is not about chasing outcomes, it is about designing, implementing, and mastering the systems that reliably produce those outcomes. Begin today by taking small, intentional actions, building routines, and committing to continuous refinement. And watch as consistent effort and well-designed systems create the success you desire and deserve.